Welcome to episode number 217, where I share with you a tool I use to help me set intentions for the new year. It's a wonderful visual practice to help you reflect on what you've achieved so far in different areas of your life. And it also helps to guide you on areas that you may want to give more attention to in the coming year. So please stay tuned and I'll share the process with you and some of my intentions for 2022. Welcome to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. I'm your host, Colette, and I hope to educate and empower you to take charge of your health and well-being, preventing disease in the body and mind so that you can thrive in life. I will be sharing the holistic teachings of Ayurveda, which is the ancient healing tradition from India. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend listening to the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. And if you like the content, please be sure to subscribe or follow the podcast so the new episodes will automatically download for you. Also, you may want to check out my private Elements community, which is away from social media. It's a safe space for like-minded people to come together, to connect, to share, to support each other, and to continue the conversation from the podcast episodes. Check out the link in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, and just click on the community tab. And I hope to connect with you there. Thanks for listening. And now here's a new episode. This episode is sponsored by New World Ayurveda. If you're interested in working with client case studies from day one of your training, consider becoming an Ayurvedic practitioner through New World Ayurveda School. This way you learn the theory of Ayurveda at the same time as you learn how to apply it practically. Get a head start on working with clients by learning Ayurveda through being exposed to the most common problems clients face and how to correct them with diet, lifestyle, and herbs. The other interesting thing about New World Ayurveda is that you start learning pulse diagnosis from the very first day. They have had the most experience teaching Ayurveda online than any other Ayurveda school, and they have developed ways of teaching pulse diagnosis at a distance. And you get the chance to study Ayurveda with an MD through Ayurveda's premier online school, New World Ayurveda. For more information, go to newworldayurveda.com, and you'll also find that link in the show notes. Hello and Happy New Year. This is the first episode of 2022, and I hope you all had a happy and healthy holiday season, and so begins another year. And as we enter into 2022 and make plans and set intentions for the year ahead, I wanted to share with you what I use to review and reflect on where I am in life and what helps me plan for the year ahead. I use the Wheel of Life. It's a very simple self-assessment tool that's commonly used in coaching or counseling. And what it does is it gives you a snapshot of how you're doing in life. The idea is that you draw a circle and divide it into 8 segments, and each segment represents an area of your life. Now, you can customize these areas to your life to suit you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 8 segments. But just to give you an idea, the ones I use are: number 1, holistic health; 2, spirituality; 3, relationships; 4, contribution; 5, personal development; 6, creativity; 7, career and finances; and 8, overall life vision. Now, I'm going to share with you how I work with these segments and some of my intentions for 2022. But just to give you an outline of how you work with this Wheel of Life, this process, once you have your 8 segment titles written on your circle, so you draw a circle, you have 8 segments, and you choose your 8 areas of life and write 1 in each segment, and then you're going to rate each segment. Now, you really want to take time to reflect on this, and I'll go through each segment in a moment. But basically, you're going to rate on a scale of 0 to 10, and you assign a number for how you feel you're doing in each area. So 0 is the lowest, and 10 is the highest score. And once you have your rating for each segment, you're going to draw dots in each segment of your wheel of life to represent your number. Now, 0 will be closest to the center of the circle, and 10 is the outside of the circle, the outer edge of the circle. So now you have a dot in each segment showing your rating for that segment. And you're going to draw a circle using these dots as your guide. Now, it obviously won't be a perfect circle, more like a web-like diagram, as your dots will be at different points on the scale from 0, which is the center of the circle, to 10, which is the outer edge of the circle. But what this is really a wonderful visual practice to help you reflect on what you've achieved in life so far in all these different areas. And it also helps to guide you on areas you want to give more attention to. So now I'm going to go through each of the segments I choose, and I'm going to give you a sample of my review. And I recommend really taking some time to journal about each segment of your life. Because when we physically write versus typing on a computer, it helps our brain to mentally engage with this information, developing a stronger conceptual understanding, processing of the information, and allowing creative thinking to flow. So I recommend choosing your 8 segments, getting out your pen and your journal, and really taking some time to reflect on this as we enter the new year. Okay, so let's go through the segments I choose. The first one is holistic health. Now, in this segment, you want to review your whole body-mind health status. And according to Ayurveda, that includes your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health. When we break down physical health, you want to look at your digestion. Are you experiencing good digestion, or do you have excessive bloating or gas or burping? Elimination. Are you having a daily bowel movement with ease? Or are you feeling constipated and having a hard time eliminating? And we know that Ayurveda views constipation as not having a bowel movement for one day. Or are you experiencing the opposite, loose stool or urgency to go to the bathroom? Or it could be a combination of both. That shows that there's problems with elimination. Then you look at your weight. Are you an ideal weight for your constitution type? Sleep. Are you getting to sleep easily? Are you staying asleep? Are you waking up feeling rested and energetic? Then look at your energy throughout the day. Is your energy crashing during a part of the day? Look at your skin. Do you have any skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, rosacea, acne? Is it very dry and itchy, or is it very oily? Looking at your tongue, as we do in Ayurveda, do you have a thick colored coating on your tongue? Are there cracks on your tongue? Or is there inflammation or mouth sores on your tongue? Looking at your hair or scalp, is your hair dry or thin or brittle? Is your scalp itchy and dry? Looking at your nails, do your nails break easily, or are they hooked and really thick? Looking at your eyes, are they bloodshot? Dry? Are the whites of your eyes a yellowish color? Do you have any pain around the eyes? Nose. Are you experiencing congestion or mucus or postnasal drip? Your joints. How do your joints feel? Are they limber and loose, or are they stiff, cracking, sore, maybe feeling inflammation? Your body temperature. Are you overheating at night or feeling hot flashes throughout the day, or are you always cold? Pain. Are you experiencing any pain in your body, like headaches or lower back pain, or maybe neck tension? So reviewing these physical aspects of your health really gives you an overall picture of how you're doing physically, but we also need to review your mental health. For example, are you feeling focused and clear? Or are you feeling that your mind is restless and scattered and you have a really hard time making decisions? Or maybe you're feeling over-analytical or over-critical of yourself or others. Or perhaps your mind is feeling really sluggish and slow and you feel like you have a foggy brain. And then how's your emotional health? Are you feeling anxious, fearful, worried? Or maybe you're feeling irritable and angry and impatient. Or are you feeling dull, sad, feeling like you want to withdraw socially and maybe feeling like you have no get up and go? Now, I know this is a lot of information to look at, but this is what we look at in an Ayurvedic consultation. And I have put together a download for you that will go through each of these areas so you can use that as a guideline to review your holistic health. So just click on the link in the show notes and you'll find that download available. This download is the Vikriti or the current imbalance form. So just click on the link in the show notes and that will help you go through each of these areas and see where there's any concerns for that. So like I said, I'm going to give you examples on what I plan to do in 2022 in each area, as this might be helpful for you. But for me, I plan to continue following the guidelines of Ayurveda with my daily dinacharya, self-care practices, plan on cleansing 3 times a year, the joint of the seasons, and I like to do one at the new year as well. And making time definitely for mindfulness. So that really, involves sitting down with my schedule and make sure I'm blocking time throughout my day to incorporate these self-care and mindfulness practices and getting out in nature, and that is as important as other aspects of my life like work and so on. So I follow an Ayurvedic and yoga lifestyle. Now, if you're feeling really overwhelmed by this and you need support, please know that I offer online consultations to help put a strategy together for you. And the thing is, it's tailored to you and your lifestyle. So it's not that I'm going to give you a lot of things to do that are going to cause extra overwhelm and stress, but I really look at your life, your lifestyle, where I can fit these practices in. And we look at your food, your self-care, your exercise, your mindfulness, your lifestyle in general. And so I really tailor it to you. So that's available. And I also have a discounted group cleanse starting January 21st. And I like to do one at the start of the year because it really helps to reset your body and mind and help you start the new year feeling light and clear and energetic. Coming out of the holiday season, sometimes we can feel really sluggish. Maybe we overindulge. So I really like to do a cleanse at this time of the year. And also that reset helps set up some really good practices and habits going forward. This group cleanse comes with a 90-minute online consultation with me so that I can tailor the recipes, the yoga, the breath practices, self-care and mindfulness to your current health status and your lifestyle. And with this group cleanse, we all connect in my private cleanse forum, and that's where we support each other and hold each other accountable. So I want to let you know that because there is support there, whether you want to cleanse or just do a one-to-one consultation. Check out the links in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. Okay, let's continue with the segments of the Wheel of Life. So my second segment is spirituality. Now, this is not to do with religion, but it's about your connection with your soul, your higher self, your consciousness. And in Ayurveda, it's called dharmic satvritti, or pure behavior in belief. And that means, what do you have a belief in? And Ayurveda teaches us that it's important to have a foundation in something that you respect, something that you can turn to when life goes sideways. How do you connect with the spiritual aspect of life? Where do you find solace? Where do you find meaning and connect to the bigger picture of life rather than getting caught up in the troubles of the present moment? Now, for me, I've connected with my consciousness, and it's a continuous journey in my studies of yoga and Ayurveda. And I find a deep connection and solace in nature. And definitely in 2022, my goal is to spend even more time in nature this year, taking breaks throughout my day, and even in the middle of the day at lunchtime, middle of my work day, connecting with nature. Nature was definitely my medicine during the last couple of years with all the COVID restrictions, as I'm sure it was for many of you. And I feel and I hope that our connection to nature is even stronger because we realize the importance of it in our lives. Okay, so our next segment is relationships and reflecting on if you're satisfied with the quality of your relationships. Do you have people in your life who you can connect with deeply and speak openly to? Are you spending quality time with these people? I know I cherish people in my life that I can have those deep conversations with and where I'm free to be myself. And I definitely would like to have more of those deep dive conversations, or as we call them, put the world to right conversations. And I plan on making a conscious effort to connect with those people on a more regular basis. Because it can be lonely on this journey of studying Ayurveda and yoga, especially if you don't have people around you who are interested in learning about Ayurveda, or they don't understand the changes you're making in your life in order to bring your body and mind into balance. So I recommend reaching out and finding a community, whether it's locally or online, of like-minded individuals who can support you and help you on your journey. This could be a yoga community, a meditation community, or an Ayurveda community. And my intention for 2022 is to create even more connection in my Elements of Ayurveda podcast community. And this is a private community which is away from social media, and it's a safe place for us to connect with like-minded individuals, to find support, and to continue the conversations from the podcast episode. If you're interested in joining, I'll put the link in the show notes. There's a small monthly fee, and there's lots of perks to being part of this community. So check out the link in the show notes if you're interested. But I think this is a really good one to reflect on your relationships. All our relationships are very different, but we definitely want to find those relationships, those like-minded people who we can really, truly, deeply connect with and support each other on this journey of Ayurveda and yoga. Okay, so moving on to the next segment, which is contribution. Now, this is your contribution to society and the environment. And Ayurveda teaches us that we are a part of nature. We are made up of the same 5 elements as nature. And so we are deeply connected to nature. And as I've said in previous podcast episodes, I believe that our holistic health includes our connection to nature, because we have that intrinsic connection with the natural world. So looking at your contribution to society and the environment, are you carrying out acts of service? Are you volunteering? Are you helping the elderly in your community? Are you raising awareness for social causes, caring for the environment? And in Ayurveda, it's called social satvriti, or pure behavior in society, being respectful, humble, and being of service. And these actions help to increase our sattva, bringing balance and harmony into our life. Now, my plan for 2022, and hopefully going forward, is to live in a way that I can reduce my carbon footprint and be more of a contributor to protecting the planet. So my plan for 2022 is I'm going to live without a car or a scooter. I'm fortunate enough to live in a village here in France where it's well serviced by trains and buses. And if I need a car, I just rent an electric car, which is great. Now, it's not unusual to live without a car in this area. And I know for many people it would be impossible, but maybe you can look at how you can be more conscious about reducing your carbon footprint, like carpooling with others or using public transport or even walking. Other ways I want to contribute to the communities by organizing regular beach cleaning events. I love organizing these with my friends. We clean the beach. We have a picnic on the beach afterwards. It's just really fun to do that. Raising awareness also is part of my plan. Every Monday I post on social media environmentally friendly tips on my Instagram and Facebook page. So that's my little contribution to raising awareness. And I also want to have more discussions about planetary health on the podcast as well. And just in general, being a positive addition to my community and contributing to my community. So taking a look and reflecting on where you can make a contribution to society and the environment. It doesn't have to be some big, grand contribution. It can be small ways, helping an elderly neighbor and helping volunteer at local events. Okay, so the next segment is personal development. Are you investing in your personal development? Are you connecting with your true nature, your passions, and bringing these into the world? We each have particular strengths or skill sets, and when we discover and align with those strengths or passions, we find our purpose. Ayurveda helps us to connect with our true nature by giving us guidelines to help us live in tune with nature, bringing our body and mind into balance so that we can have more awareness and connection to our true nature. Now, going on this journey with Ayurveda gives us a self-confidence and a belief in our strengths and our abilities. And for me, in this area, I want to continue my studies with Ayurveda and investing in courses that can help me improve personally and professionally. Moving on to segment number 6 is creativity. This one is often brushed aside because life is too busy. However, I think it's an extremely important segment to help us connect with our intuition. When we're being creative, and that can be anything, by the way, anything that brings our mind into the present moment, like your hobbies. What is it that when you're doing it, you don't think of anything else? You don't think of the worries or the concerns you have. It could be cooking, gardening, dancing, doing art, making music, writing, exercising. And as I discussed in my recent podcast episode with Sarah Tomlinson, it was episode number 211, I want to make more time for creative play. And we talked about this a lot in that episode. And Sarah advised me that due to my personal astrological chart, I would do best with physical creative play. And I do find that when I'm exercising or enjoying time in nature, that's when I connect with my intuition. That's when I get those aha moments and those ideas from left field. So reflecting on what is your creative outlet for you? What brings you into that present moment awareness, and how are you going to make time for it in 2022 and going forward? So the next segment is career or business or studies and finances. And this is where you choose the title that fits best for you. So career is for employees, business for entrepreneurs, and studies for students. And I want you to reflect on how satisfied you are in this area. Do you feel fulfilled? This is a crucial area as it makes up a big portion of our lives, and it's tied to our finances. Do you feel comfortable with your current financial status? For me, as an entrepreneur, this is one area I have to give a lot of attention. And I've been in my business now over 5 years. And normally they say for a new business, give it 3 years. I would say give it 5 years, because it's only now I'm feeling like I'm establishing myself in my business and I'm happy with where I am in my business, but I still have a lot of work to do. But I also have to be careful not to overdo it here. I'm fortunate that my business is my passion and it's a lot of hard work. So it's finding that balance in my business for me in 2022 is important. And then, of course, I could always put a lot more focus on finances. I think it's really important to have that strong, stable foundation so you're not worrying how you're going to make the next rent check or mortgage payment. And so really putting an effort and getting professional advice if you need to help stabilize that foundation of your finances for you. The final segment is your overall life vision. What's your vision for the future? Do you have a clear vision of the future? Are you working towards your goals, your aspirations? Where can you pay more attention or put more energy to ensure you're on the right life path for you? So this could be your 5 or 10-year plan. So there you go. There are my 8 choices for my segments. And like I said, you can customize these 8 segment titles to you and your life, or there could be less or more. But once you've completed your wheel of life, it's time to reflect on the overall picture of your wheel. And the following questions may help. Like, what is the shape of your wheel of life? What are your lowest scoring segments? How are they affecting your life? Are you happy with your wheel of life? What if these areas stayed the same with the same score, same rating in 2022. What intentions can you set to make each segment of your life closer to a rating of 10? All 8 segments are equally important, and so being curious about why you're not giving energy to a low-scoring segment can be an important exercise to help you to move forward. Do you need support in these areas? Are there blocks in these areas that you need to work through? Maybe you need professional help in these areas, and so maybe investing in that can really help support you going forward and help you thrive in life. So there you go. Lots of things to think about there. This is what I find helpful on reflecting on how far I have come. So it kind of gives me a boost, like, oh, I've done well in these areas. And also looking at where I am now and where I'm not giving enough attention to, and then where I want to go. I hope you found this helpful. And if you're part of the Elements of Ayurveda podcast community, please feel free to share your intentions in the private community. I know that sharing some of mine here helps to keep me accountable. So if you would like to share in that private community, please do so. And we can support you on your intentions throughout 2022. And don't forget, the next discounted group cleanse starts January 21st, 2022, and just a few weeks away. So come join us to start the year with a holistic reset for your body and mind. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wishing you all the very best in 2022 and beyond. And I would like to thank you for your support in the podcast. Thank you for sharing episodes that you thought might be beneficial to family or friends. And thank you for subscribing to the podcast. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so wherever you listen to your podcasts, and the new episodes will automatically download for you. And if you would like to rate and review the podcast, I would really appreciate that. Just rate and review it wherever you listen to your podcasts, and that will help spread this wisdom of Ayurveda. And don't forget to follow on social media on Facebook and Instagram under Elements Healing and Wellbeing. And the website is the same name, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. Until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.